Hello, welcome back sa Cryptagalog. Sorry, muntik ako nang masabi yung welcome back to Chess Vlog. This is Chess and I'm one of the co-hosts for Cryptagalog. So, we have here today a special guest and of course, syempre yung host muna, si James of the Resistance Trader. Hello there.
Hi, Chess. Thank you very much for introducing me. Magandang araw sa'yo. So, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone, good day. Whatever time zone you're into or wherever you are in which part of the world. Magandang araw sa inyo lahat. Again, this is the Resistance Trader signing in for Cryptagalog's episode 2. So, yes, Chess. So, we got a very, very special topic for this day, for today. We will be discussing about this controversial topic called the Metaverse. So, I know you did your own video about this. So, yeah, in Chess Blog, some video explainer about it. But for this episode, we will try to demystify. Susubukan natin i-explain dun sa mga audience natin yung Metaverse sa pinaka-simple terms possible for them to appreciate what Metaverse is all about. So without further ado, kindly help me introduce our guest for today. Of course, he's a technical guy, he's a former CTO for the Altash blockchain. He's currently, he's still currently connected with the Altash University as one of the professors. And he's currently also programming blockchain for NFT markets, wallets, name it. Well, in a nutshell, he's doing some programming for decentralized application. Help me welcome Chess, our host. Can you mention his name?
Thank you for the introduction about him. So, we have here si Sly. Hello there.
Hi, Sly.
Hey guys, what's up?
So, Sly, how are you? I've heard you got a lot of projects working on in the Cryptoverse, Metaverse, and NFT. So, mind sharing more about yourself? Pakilala ka sa audience natin so that they will appreciate who you are, what you do, and yeah, what exactly are they expecting from someone like Joseph Sylvester, aka Sly.
Okay, sige. So, hi, ako si Joseph.
Ang weird, no? Kasi basically, laging English si Joseph. Pero yeah, go ahead.
Ipinanganak ako dito sa Pilipinas, so Pilipino ko. Yeah, that's who I am. Ang profession ko dati ay information technology systems specialist, parang ganun.
Ayan.
So, after being in IT for mga 10 years, 12 years ganon, I said to myself, screw this. I have had enough. I want to do technology, pero not this type of technology. Di ba? Like Cisco, no? Like the
Old school na tech. Okay.
Kasi in the end, when you deal with IT, in the end, it's all about networking, programming, lots of programming, by the way. Pero, programming is very proprietary kasi what you learn in Cisco can't be applied in Netgear. Two different languages. Parang ganun. So anyway, I decided I wanted to make a career change. So I switched over to blockchain. I find out that blockchain is, it's the same. It's the same, pero it's more programming than anything else, but it utilizes concepts in IT such as networking, programming, of course, the front end, web design. Everything about blockchain is really web based. So, in a way, that's what I kind of like doing. Ayokong hardware all the time, fix my laptop, format it.
So yeah, I think si Chess being in the support for quite some time in the past will actually appreciate or understand what you've been through. Tama ba, Chess?
Naman. Pero, well, anyway, gusto ko lang ma-clarify. Bakit mo naman nasabing controversial lang Metaverse? Parang,
well, tama. So that's a good question, Chess, no? Kasi 'di ba, we notice in the news currently, and even sa, yung most popular platform that most of the Filipinos are using right now, si Facebook, yung kanyang suite of services and the company they are involved with, si Mark Zuckerberg, they actually changed name into Meta or Metaverse in preparation daw for the company to transition to Metaverse. So that's exactly how I say, o bakit ko nasabi, na controversial tong Metaverse term na ito, no? Kasi, for one, even sikat na brands like, for example, what I've heard, the Walmart Mart is even coming out of their own Metaverse. So, Metaverse here, Metaverse there, and even the quite popular, yung popular na game ngayon na play to earn sa Philippines, maraming Pilipino naglalaro, Axie Infinity, they're also claiming that they're one of the first game na parang nag-encourage or yung may metaverse din daw sila, less short of saying, sa madaling salita. So, yan yung mga reasons why I actually coined the term controversial. Especially now, I think nasa buying spree si Mark Zuckerberg ng mga companies to prepare his company to be part of that metaverse. And we've heard also Nike as a brand, yung sikat na brand ng sapatos and sports apparel, they have their own something like that. So pag-usapan natin yan kasi I mean like we need to make our audience understand what this metaverse thing is. Oh, agree ka ba doon?
Siyempre, kasi parang if you're seeing a lot of it, parang mapapatanong ka, ano nga ba to? And then if you ask someone, baka makita mong explanation, English, it's not that hindi mo naiintindihan yung English, baka mas malalim or technical pa yung pagkaka-explain in English. So, we'll try to be as Tagalog or as easy to understand here ha. Pero, syempre, pero most likely, baka maging Taglish yung explanation. So, let's start muna with Sly. How will you explain the metaverse to someone like ngayon lang niya nakita or talagang normie na walang alam, ganun.
So, this is like this segment is like a metaverse for normies slide. So yeah.
So the most simplistic explanation I can provide for the audience is the metaverse is basically a story. So what kind of story? Siyempre, there's many examples out there of what I mean by story. Halimbawa, Harry Potter series. Okay, Harry Potter series. When it first came out, everyone was, oh, what's Harry Potter? But then through word of mouth, people said, it's a really good series, read the book, things like that. And more people believed in the Harry Potter story. Now, forgive me for, saying like, there's, I don't know if they're called moguls or something, but eventually
Muggles.
Moguls, yeah.
Muggles, yeah.
Right? But that's just one class of character types, right? But the thing is, the entire Harry Potter series is actually its own metaverse when you really think about it. So you have heroes, you have Harry Potter, you have his friends, so on and so forth. You have the enemies, the bad guys. Okay?
So parang slight sinasabi mo, si Harry Potter is its own universe. That's kind of metaverse na.
Oh.
So ibig sabihin like how Facebook is trying to parang sinusubukan niya ngayon to be a metaverse on its own.
Kasi think about it. Sa Facebook, maraming tao post their lives. Talaga. Pero if you were to follow one, let's say, influencer, and he posted his life on Facebook.
Si Chess Blog, for example.
For example, Chess Blog. From the day you started posting your life on Facebook till now, if I were to analyze every single post, you could be your own book. All the people that you've met, all the things that you've interacted with, all the emotional aspects. Let's just call it that for now.
So yung mga data na mga pinost mo sa Facebook can actually generate its own story. Hence, a metaverse. Parang ganun ba yun? Ganun ba yung, tama ba yung intindi ko dun sa kwentuhan natin?
Kasi sa metaverse, it doesn't mean it has to be all true or it has to be fake. It just has to be a story where people can relate to and believe in. And when people start believing in something in mass, then it starts to take life. For example,
Sige.
for example, I hate to use this example, but I'm a Christian. I still believe in Jesus, pero historically there's no evidence, but I believe in him, so that makes him real.
Okay.
Parang ganon.
Okay. So, Jesus Christ as a person and a story and a being is its own metaverse. Parang ganyan.
Yes.
Okay. Kaya pala merong coin na peso crypto. That's kidding.
That's a different topic.
That's a different topic. But by the way, for those of you guys who's actually into cryptocurrency, there's this token project called Heso Crypto. So yeah, shout out to them. Well, no, this is not promoting them, but yeah, they have their own, they have their own story. They have their own metaverse. So you mean to say, tama ba? Just correct me if I'm wrong. No? Even si Bitcoin, for example, may mga data yan eh. So from its inception, Genesis block, di ba, after the creation ng kanyang white paper and then going live, then being active on 2012. 2012 siya most active eh. Yung mga talaga. That's its own metaverse. Okay. So metaverse is like a version of the universe or the physical universe in a story.
Think of it like this. In the Marvel or the MCU,
Yan, sige.
Marvel Cinematic Universe, diba, my origin story,
Yep.
okay? Pero the origin story sets off, it's a starting point, pero it's what sets off that particular, well, in this case, universe, story path, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, think of any, not just Marvel. Think of anything. Some friend that you knew in the past that had this really weird backstory, how he came to be.
Yung iniinuman ni Chess Vlog ng Sunny Orange nung elementary. So may story siya, so may own metaverse. So ibig mo sabihin, that was ibig sabihin, kahit sino or anong bagay, basta may storya siya, is a metaverse.
Oo. Ako, metaverse ako. Ikaw.
Okay.
Si Chess. Oo.
Pero wait lang. The explanation here is deviating a little bit from the explanation that I got from the video that we did earlier. I think mas madali ma-pick up ng normie yung explanation about, for example, yung games. Like yung world games because, for example, yung world ng Final Fantasy, world ng
Yung Harry Potter
Sige,
na MCU.
sige. Let's use the Final Fantasy reference. Okay. So, syempre, good guy, bad guy. Hero at saka bad guy. No? So, look at your life right now. You're the hero of your own story. Yeah? Sige, di ba, you've hated people because of their actions against you? So, wouldn't you say they were bad guys?
Yun ang bully sa'yo nung elementary, halimbawa.
Oh. Siyempre, you've forgiven them, but at the time, you consider them...
Yung nakapagsapakan ka, syempre. Bata ka eh.
Sige. Obstacles and hurdles. Diba, in most Final Fantasy games, parang treasure hunting, find the key to unlock this door. Diba? Haven't you gone through that in your own life? Oh,
Yung mga battles din, syempre.
oh, syempre. Maraming battles in life. Kahit physical or maybe in school or even in work. You have a project that you have to finish in 2 weeks for work. Diba? We've all gone through these obstacles. It's the same thing as in video games. Now, what makes it interesting in a video game compared to life is that in a video game, you as the hero are not in it. You're controlling someone else's. You're living it through their lives.
May avatar ka doon.
Ayun, avatar.
Okay. So, in the metaverse that most companies nowadays trying to go in. So, like, for example, si Facebook, Si Facebook kasi isa sa pinakasikat. Then we have other brands like Nike, ano pa ba, Axie Infinity, the game. They have their own metaverse, they call it Lunasha. Meron din mga metaverse for arts and education, etc. So those are mga several projects that we've heard, we know of. So what they're trying to create is actually a version of their story in their universe. It's like a universe on their own. So okay.
Kasi the metaverse isn't just a metaverse, singular. A
Yun.
metaverse contains many universes.
Okay. So ibig sabihin, hindi lang isa ang metaverse. The metaverse can be a multiple metaverse, like there's a Facebook metaverse, there's a metaverse for Axie Infinity.
SM pwedeng gumawa ng metaverse.
Yeah, that's the reason why si Walmart, well, yun nga, yung concept mo ng SM gagawa ng metaverse. Walmart is already on it. They're creating their own metaverse right now. So, ibig sabihin, sa loob ng Walmart, bibili ka ng physical, tapos sa Walmart metaverse, pwede ka bumili ng mga virtual products which can or cannot be representing yung actual products nila sa store. Diba? So, yeah, interesting. So, pero metaverse, one thing is for sure. Basic character ng metaverse is it's virtual. It's not physical.
That is true, yes.
Okay. So at least that's clarified. Ibig sabihin, that's connected to technologies like the internet, blockchain, AI, the likes. Without those things, like if we live in a cave or under a rock, then we're not participating in any metaverse.
Technically, you are.
Sige, how come? Parang, I have my, like, if I write that story of mine in a rock, so yun, I have a metaverse na. Is that what you mean to say? Alright. Clear. So see, Moses, when he climbed dun sa mountain to write the Ten Commandments, that's already a metaverse. Verse written in a tablet.
Right, kasi the mountain itself represented in that story, that particular part of the story, represents an obstacle. Kasi what started that journey from the base of the mountain to getting to the top to write, well, God wrote the what started it off? It's because at that time, after I think the term is called Hebrews at the time. Hebrews.
Mga Israelites,
Israelites.
they move out of Egypt.
Right. Tapos they, I'm going by the Ben-Hur movie here. Okay.
Yeah.
So so the Israelites, they're talking about stuff and they're discussing and they're getting into an argument. And then at that point in time, Moses says, look, we have to find a way to unite with our differences. So syempre, 10 Commandments, he had to walk up that hill, right? Knowing full well whether or not whatever God's going to put on these tablets, I must, give to the people.
All right.
And after that, it's more like, will they listen or they won't? Who knows?
So that's a metaverse. No? That story of climbing, moving out of Egypt, climbing into the mountain, writing the Ten Commandments is a metaverse. Now,
Right.
here's the question.
Within Moses' story.
Yung sa concept ni Moses. Now, here's the
Wait lang,
question.
ha.
Yes, Chess.
We're starting to get abstract. Parang if I'm a normie, tapos metaverse yung pinag-uusapan, parang medyo nabiweirdohin na ako sa where this conversation is going.
Okay, so let's get back on focus. So metaverse, without using, let's just think about ourselves. Okay.
Kaya yun na lang metaverse that is being marketed nowadays.
Okay.
Let's talk about like similar to Facebook.
Okay, sige.
To Axie Infinity.
Let's talk about Facebook games, for instance.
Yeah.
Okay, I think, what was it, Farmville?
Farm
sige.
something, yeah.
Was it Farmville? Okay.
Farmville, Cityville.
Something like that. Okay, let's look at those Facebook games. Okay, again, there's a hero, there's a task, an obstacle that needs to be done, and at the end of all this, you get the best items, you get rewarded,
You upgrade yourself.
you upgrade yourself. So when we look at Facebook games, it's the idea of you're volunteering to play this game because you're playing an avatar that has struggles or tasks, And upon completion, you are rewarded. When we translate that sa mga tao is, we go to school, we get good grades, we get rewarded for those good grades. At tapos, with those good grades, we go to a good college. Pero the opposite of that is if you do bad in school, bad grades, your parents hate you, you gotta leave the house, you gotta fend for yourself. Parang ganon.
So, tatawagin ka sa guidance office, bring mother with plastic cover.
Yeah. So yun. So what is Metaverse? It's a story.
Okay.
And in the Metaverse, the Metaverse can represent you through someone else's story.
Okay.
That's purely what the Metaverse is. You are basically becoming or joining someone else's story and becoming them to know
Or-
their story.
Tama ba? It's data. You're a data. You have like those information surrounding you na ngayon, di ba, sabi mo nga, let's use Facebook na lang muna. And the reason why they wanted to do that metaverse thing is may data sa Facebook about you. Sabi mo about your interactions, about your post, and everything like that. So let's focus on Facebook para mas maintindihan ng audience. Now, that story, Facebook wanted to translate into their own metaverse.
Right.
Okay.
You'll be surprised though, that a lot of people from around the globe, from all the interactions that they do with their friends, sometimes the stories kind of repeat themselves.
Okay.
So if you think about it, meta means data. So in a sense, you're right. Because when you combine all the stories, you're going to find out there's certain aspects to everyone's story that kind of is redundant. You have, let's say,
Your birthday, taon-taon yun.
well, that's a simple way, but I think what it comes down to is relationships. For example, maybe that girl that you liked in college, high school, or whatever, you're talking to your best friend saying, "Yo, man, I want that date," and that sort of thing. Or, "Oh, we got the test tomorrow for Professor so and so. Did you study for it? Oh man, can I copy your notes?" So there's going to be a lot of overlapping stories.
Okay.
But with those overlaps, you start to realize that people around the world have the same problems. So by taking that same data, you can create a metaverse
Okay.
that is very relatable to everyone in the world.
Something like, tama ba? A metaverse na may uniformity somehow. Well, you can have your own individual experience, pero yung mga challenges, mga tests, obstacles can be the same.
Yes.
Okay.
Kasi, think about it. As Chess has mentioned, we've gone abstract a bit. Kasi we're going off topic, pero what we're trying to lead to is, it's the idea that, yes, people are unique, but at the same time, we all share not all, but
Most people.
most of the same problems that everybody else in the world faces.
Lahat nagugutom. Lahat inaantok. So something like that.
So
Lahat na in love.
when a metaverse becomes very relatable to people, they tend to stick with it.
Okay.
Kasi it makes sense.
So that's how the metaverse goes. So it's a version of a data, of a story that can be translated into applications. That's what we're saying. Now, similarly, yung mga metaverse is medyo commonplace language sa mga blockchain and cryptocurrency projects. Why is that so?
Kasi of the name itself, we're talking about data. Blockchain is basically data if you think
Okay.
about it. So yun.
So may metaverse din yung blockchain, parang ganyan.
Oo.
Okay. So it's like the metaverse is relatable for blockchain kasi since blockchain is a collection of data, given yung mga there can be a metaverse for that. Yeah.
Yes.
Oto lang, masingit ko lang. Kasi will the normies be required to get a certain new device? Or, kasi di ba parang napag-usapan din natin last time na people are getting the impression that ang metaverse will require people to get yung headset or yung
VR shades.
VR, whatever, yung pang virtual
Well,
reality.
depende sa application. Kasi Facebook, when Zuckerberg presents his Meta to investors, syempre, he wants to look good. So he gives them all VR shades.
A wow factor.
Oh, wow.
Libre.
Oh, libre. Kasi investor sila. So, pero sa common day, everyone in this room, syempre, we can all afford our own mobile device.
Okay.
Okay? Mas affordable. So, how do you get from mobile device to Metaverse? You don't know. Syempre, Facebook, it's an app. When we look at Metaverse, I described it in 3 components. Augmented reality, 3D, at saka virtual reality.
Ulitin natin. What's the 3 components for Metaverse again?
Augmented reality, 3D, and virtual reality.
Alright. So, what's the difference between the 3, Sly?
Okay. So the difference between the 3 is sa augmented reality, you need a lens. Kasi in augmented reality, the reality that you're in, without that lens from your mobile device, which is your camera, by the way, you cannot see what's in front of you. Pero with a mobile application, you can see something that is hidden. The best example is Pokemon Go.
Yeah, si Pokemon Go, I remember, you have to use your camera,
Right.
tapos tututok mo sa isang real place scenario. Then, in your phone, there will appear a Pokemon
Right.
na supposedly
Pwede rin makita ng ibang tao at the same time.
pwede rin makita ng ibang tao at the same time, provided that they have
A lens.
a similar device to you.
Right.
So, kailangan may parehas kayong device. So, ngayon,
So
that's how augmented reality works.
right. Kasi it just requires a lens,
Meron kang looking glass.
a looking glass.
Okay.
Okay, so now sa 3D. So the 3D, okay, is the more cheaper option. Kasi, you are a PC user or basically a computer user. Parang browser user, like Brave browser, Chrome browser, parang gano'n. So 3D,
Explorer. Pwede ba yun?
it still uses Chrome Edge or
Sige
Chrome.
lang.
Pero in 3D, there's maraming applications that utilize 3D. Unreal Engine, Unity, Maya, Blender, so on and so forth. Okay? Marami.
O even for non-blockchain applications, di ba?
Uh-oh.
Sobra.
But what makes 3D interesting is that it's in the name 3D. When we play games back in the 90s, or platform games like Super Mario Brothers back in the days,
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, diba? It's 2D. They can jump up and down, move left and right. Okay? Now in 3D, they have basically another axis, which allows them to not just move up and down, left and right,
Turn
but
around.
to turn around, view the world in different and many angles. Yeah. I think you've seen most of these games. Like Fallout. What's a good MMORPG nowadays?
League of Legends.
Yeah, that's still
Medyo
2D.
matagal na yun.
Sorry, matanda na ako, chess.
Like
ano ba yung mga games na medyo bago?
Valorant.
Valorant, Call of Duty. Those are 3D games.
Call of Duty, yan.
CSGO, 3D. Kasi you see the world around you, but you see only the world that's in front of you through this avatar.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3D is kind of like you're looking through an avatar's point of view. Parang ganun.
Gets.
Okay, now.
Tsaka tingin ko magigets ng mga audience natin, lalo ng mga naglalaro. Kasi 3D has been there for quite some time.
Oo, tama. It's been there for
Kaya
quite a
ngayon,
while.
gusto kong analogy is games.
Oo.
Kasi kanina yung analogy nyo, parang it's getting batshit crazy na yun. So,
Yeah.
balik tayo sa something na madali
Ayun.
mag-pick up ng regular na tao.
So games at saka
ito.
mga applications, mga apps.
Sige. Okay, so yeah, games. Yes, so games 3, it's been around. I think all of us in this room have been exposed to 3D games.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is virtual reality. Now,
Yan yung mahal, no? Kasi may...
yun ang mahal. Yes, that's correct. Bakit? Kasi it requires equipment, VR shades, Oculus Rift. Minsan, I think the closest one that everyone can agree to is every once in a while in either SM or whatever malls, the richer malls, there's like this roller coaster ride machine.
Oo.
What's that game place?
World of Fun ba yun?
No. It's like an arcade place.
Yun nga, World of Fun sa SM.
World of Fun. That's what it's called.
Oh, that's World of Fun for SM. For others, meron yung mga...
Like Time Zone.
Time Zone.
Yeah. Okay. So
Time Zone is a different, hindi SM yan.
Time
So,
Zone kasi arcade siya eh.
Oo,
Pero
arcade.
usually, meron din siya sa SM.
Pero
Iba pa yung World of Fun.
Pero there are games that are sort of virtual reality. Bakit virtual reality? In virtual reality games doesn't necessarily mean, you have to wear an Oculus Rift, VR shades, parang ganon. But what makes virtual reality is because, again, here's a good example. There is this game I love to play because it's like my workout. Talaga. It's called Police Story. And what it is are these sensors, right? And you have to go through each area in this game, and you stand on these sensors. If you lean left, your avatar leans
Goes
left.
left. Oh.
If you lean right, grabe.
so parang ako ang siguro may share ko, tama, correct me if I'm wrong, slide, no? Siguro yung parang VR experience ko is nung sa Universal Studios. There is this yung Mommy Return ride that I need to wear VR shades. Then
That's just one aspect of it, but yes. Oh,
parang ganun, no? Tapos sasakay, para kayo nasa loob ng mining something.
right.
Tapos yun, may parang
So-
you got that roller coaster thing.
So
going.
one thing that is true about VR is that it does require expensive hardware. That is correct. But the underlying
Condition.
truth condition is that you're interacting with the environment.
Okay.
That's what makes VR expensive, yet what makes VR VR.
Okay. Ano ba, Sly, kapag ba yung mga metaverse that are, yung known projects ng metaverse, does it really need to be VR agad? Or I mean like,
No.
okay. Parang klaro sa audience natin na, hindi
Kasi
naman
baka
Oo.
kasi ako initially I thought it all requires the virtual reality eh. Pero yun pala hindi.
Now
Exactly.
that's what Zuckerberg wants you to believe because he wows his investors with VR. But
Tsaka yun yung siguro, yun yung vision niya ng kanyang metaverse.
Oo.
The one with the VR thing.
because what he's trying to tell his investors when he told them to put the VR shades on is this is my future for Meta.
Okay. That's his own
We're gonna
metaverse.
sell this stuff to people.
Kasi in VR, what did I just say? It's the idea of interacting. Yeah? Interacting. With
Tsaka
the-
wow talaga pag VR.
Oo.
So like, wow. Anyway, so far so good, no? Ewan ko, Chess, do you agree na we're having this kind of little bit of enlightenment how this looks like?
Yes, I hope. So, otherwise, if they're still having some difficulty na maintindihan tong pinag-usapan natin, feel free to reach out na lang to our individual channels, either sa The Resistance Blogger or The Resistance Traders
Yeah.
or sa Chess Blog. So, ito na lang. Anything practical applications for the time being, like, is this something na monetizable or
Oh, it is.
on the small scale, or if you're like a regular person?
Sige, I got from the three components I mentioned, two components can be done cheaply and it's already been applied. Number one, Pokemon Go. Okay. Now, and that's augmented reality, huh? Now there are fashion shows. Even IKEA might be doing this pretty soon. Augmented reality. Kasi, augmented reality with furniture is going to be big. Now, in terms of how people can get incentivized, get paid for this sort of thing, well, diba, you can program it.
Okay.
The second part about it is, you can program it And hopefully you two also find, a businessman or an investor out there who will like the project.
Or
But
need the project.
yeah,
Kasi pwedeng, I think the reason why most brands like Nike, for example, is trying to enter into the space is simply because for marketing purposes, hindi pa ngayon, pero when the technology, yung technology na gano'n, no, nag-evolve na,
Pag nag-mainstream
pag
na to,
nag-mainstream na yan, it's actually cheaper to create a virtual version of an expensive shoes,
actually,
di ba? For marketing purposes than to actually show it off the actual shoes.
yes. Kasi, I don't know if we want to name drop here. But you remember Merrick Mara?
Merrick Mara, yeah, he's a good friend. Shout out to him. So yeah, he's actually
Diba
one of the-
we had dinner with him once, and I eventually spoke to him one-on-one.
ay wait, what does he do?
He's
like
the president of an IT company. He has his own telecommunication dealing with mostly mga satellite internet.
Okay.
Pinoy ba to?
Pinoy to si Merrick. Well, I'll let him meet you one of these days.
But
Oo
yeah,
nga, sana we can have him as a guest.
Pwede.
Sure.
Again.
but the one thing Merrick Mara taught me that one night is that in terms of technology, the guys in tech, they're here while the people who don't know about the trend, are here. It's usually the techie guys who can see the trend early on. But when the normal day people start to see the trend, the tech guys are already there waiting for people to buy into it. Yeah.
Nakaabang na lang sila doon, yung mga taong bibili.
Yeah.
Oo, yung mga late sa early adopters.
Right.
Kasi, di ba?
So in a sense, it's the idea of when you catch the trend early enough, yeah, that's where you are incentivized and rewarded because you're already there. Not so much the programming. You can be an investor, you can
Buy early, no? Parang when you buy early, a product, a service involving Metaverse, when it goes mainstream, you sell it, you profit from that.
Right.
Kita ka doon.
So it's basically just seeing the trend.
Okay.
Now that's augmented reality. Now 3D, this has been everywhere ever since. So 3D, whether it be on a browser, playing games, what have you, 3D has been, it's evolved into this idea of play the game, earn these rewards, earn the achievements. Now you have streamers who play the game, earn the rewards, get followers who watch their YouTube stream, and YouTube pays them for the amount of views.
Yeah.
So it gets monetized through, specific partner channels. So that's the incentive part to it. On top of that, it's the idea that if you have many subs because you play this particular game everyone loves to watch, you become an influencer for that game.
All right.
And those influencers become, YouTube stars, Twitch stars, and
So whatever metaverse there is. So metaverse. So kung halimbawa, nagkaroon ng metaverse si YouTube, you can be a metaverse YouTube star. Pero kung halimbawa naman, there's a Facebook thing, then they monetized it.
yeah.
Yeah. Pero ano to, no? The monetization is at the mercy of the creators or progenitors of the metaverse.
That is correct. Yes. Now that's another thing about the metaverse is that who controls it? Because you think, oh, it's Facebook, or oh, it's this. Sometimes, understanding, and it's in its own weird way when people, creators, whatever, create metaverses, they become gods. They can control who goes in, what goes out, the structure, the laws, the limitations, everything. So that's one thing to watch out about the upcoming metaverse. It's who controls it.
Yeah.
Ano nga ba sasabihin ko? Siguro ang na-pick up ko lang sa usapan natin is parang sooner or later parang the word influencer still connotes like something very negative in our feeling. Pero
I think you are correct in saying that. You are correct in saying it. Pero
we have to accept na it's gonna become a legitimate career in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Kasi parang ngayon, parang when we hear influencer, parang vitriol, inis, galit, ang usually nakikita ko online that comes with it.
Hindi,
Parang-
mas pa nga, buska.
Ha?
Na, influencer. Parang inaasar ka ng mga friends mo.
Oo, yung parang may taas
Oo.
ng kilay, may panglalait, may pang ano. Pero I honestly feel na in the coming more years to come, parang it's gonna become like
Mainstream.
it's gonna be like an actual career. Like yung dati, di ba, yung paglalaro ng video games, parang that's something na people do not expect that will become
They abhor it. Parents na naglalaro yung mga anak nila ng video games, naiinis pa.
Oo, tapos di ba parang tinatawanan ka lang, parang buong araw mo wala kang ginawa kundi maglaro, ano mong papala mo dyan? Pero some are becoming parang Olympic.
Oo, mga e-game experts.
Oh, and even some people who are not even expert, they're just streaming games. Hindi man sila maging kasing laki ni PewDiePie, pero if you somehow get to 50,000 subscribers,
Still good money.
pwede na, mabubuhay ka na niya. Hindi pa singgarbo, pero
Pwede na.
parang kailangan na ma-supplement ka na lang siguro ng part-time job.
Or, if you are into the Metaverse, diba, you got some other stuff doing. Like, sabi mo nga, and yung sa gaming, speaking of gaming, there are play-to-earn games na available right now. So, marami, there are a lot of things that can actually be coupled with this stuff. So, even those things that you mentioned can be included in the Metaverse person.
Oo.
Grabe.
So, I think we have a good
Yeah, we have a good conversation today. And,
pero at least I just want to end this that at least I hope that we have given you na magandang primer in regards to the Metaverse, because the Metaverse has a lot, pwede pa siyang i-drill down into a lot of ideas and topics. So, salamat, Kislay, kasi parang ako ngayon ko lang din siya naintindihan fully.
thanks, Lai, for this session.
Also, I hope that sabay-sabay tayong matuto, especially sa mga normies na katulad ko na hindi naman talaga like super duper into the cryptocurrency or NFTs or what have you. Yung parang lang, sakto lang, yung curious lang matuto. Pero, ayun, that's just my take.
Yeah. Thank you, Chess, for that one. So, we've had a very wonderful conversation. Thank you very much, Sly, for giving us your time. So, maraming salamat. And also, to sa mga nakikinig sa amin, thank you very much. So, don't forget to like and share this podcast. And kindly do visit our page. This is the Trader and Chess Blog. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye.